How's it going, Luchador?
Pretty good, man.
That's good.
Yeah, how's your history project coming along?
It's great. I'm learning so much.
Oh yeah?
Yep. John D Rockefeller was born in Richford, New York in 1839.
No way. My grandma lives there.
Cool. He actually moved to Cleveland, Ohio at the age of 14 with his family.
Wow, that must have been hard, especially at 14.
It was, but John pushed through the challenges and 6 years later, he established his first enterprise.
He did that when he was 20.
Crazy, right? He started a commissioned business that supplied hay, grain, meats, and many other foods. He sensed the potential of his company and decided to expand the oil industry. He built his first oil refinery near Cleveland in 1863, and within 2 years of economic growth within the oil industry, he had the largest refinery in the area. Soon after, he decided to devote himself exclusively to the oil industry.
I use a lot of those things every day.
Yeah, everyone does. But there's even more to the story. In 1870, John and a few of his associates created the Standard Oil Company. By 1872, he controlled almost all of the refineries in Cleveland. He could now negotiate with railroads on prices for shipping his vast amounts of oil as well as the materials needed to sustain his productivity. In 1882, Rockefeller had almost reached the monopoly in the oil industry. In the previous year, he had stored all of his company's stocks with a board of 9 trustees. With John at the head of the operation, they had established the first major U.S. trust and set a path for other monopolies.
A monopoly is like the objective of the game, right?
Well, kind of. It's an exclusive possession or control of a supply or trade within a commodity or service.
So it's a monopoly because he had power over most of the oil refineries, right?
Correct. However, the oil business was very often displayed as ruthless and competitive in its actions, as well as its advertisements.
So what did people do?
Well, in 1892, the Ohio Supreme Court decided that Rockefeller's company had created a monopoly that violated a monopoly prohibition law. John evaded the decision by removing the trust and dividing its properties to companies in other states. However, these separate companies all had interlocking directorates so that the same 9-man could control the operations of the affiliated companies. These companies were re-established back into a holding company which existed until 1911.
What happened in 1911?
The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the business was in violation of the Sherman Antitrust Act, and therefore illegal.
Wow, Rockefeller sure seemed to run into a lot of problems.
No kidding. By 1897, he had turned his attention to charities and devoted himself completely to philanthropy. He founded the University of Chicago in 1892, and by the time of his death he had donated over $80 million to the college. John had created many philanthropic institutions around the U.S. as well as the General Education Board and the Rockefeller Foundation.
Wow, John D. Rockefeller was a busy guy.
Yes, he was. By his death, he had donated over $500 million to foundations, as well as businesses.
Wow, I never thought about all of the struggles for things in everyday life. It's hard to believe that a single man started the economic boom that our country functions off of.
I'm just glad that someone listened to my lecture.